angels, and have not charity, which is love, I have become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. I think Paul had the revelation of this language of love. Because he's saying when you speak to people about God, and you don't have this language of love in you, you're going to sound like a tinkling cymbal or sounding brass. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I can remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing. So you can have all the knowledge and all the religious understanding, all the doctrinal theories that you can carry around in your little head. And if you don't have love, you don't have anything. And it goes back to us loving one another. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, does not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoices not in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth. It beareth all things, it believeth all things, hopeth all things, and endureth all things. Charity never faileth. But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Where there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I become a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three. But the greatest of these is charity. And I want to go back to verse 10. And it says, but when that which is perfect is come, don't lock your thought process onto thinking this only means this is only talking about Jesus. Because when we read that, that's what I thought for a long time, when that which is perfect is come, meaning Jesus, then that which is in part shall be done away. That's not a direct reference to Jesus Christ, but it's a direct reference to that which is perfect, which is learning the language of love. When you learn that and you have it and it comes, then that which is in part shall be done away. But it's not thrown out, but it's done away in this process the same way that Jesus came and he didn't throw the law out, but he fulfilled all the demands of the law. When this perfect love comes to you, when this language of love is revealed to you, it is that which is perfect. Because that language of love is perfect. It's without fault, without blame. It does all the things this chapter speaks about. It doesn't do the things that we thought it would do, but it brings us into that place where we are able to speak to one another words that will encourage, words that will lift up, Not necessarily words that we want to hear, because most of us want someone to come and pray over us and speak these great words of, you are such a wonderful person. You are such a great woman. You have done so many good things with your life. I'm going to bless you. And that's the things we want to hear. But sometimes we need to hear things that correct us and reprove us and rebuke us. But those things are spoken in a language of love that does not leave us under condemnation. It's reminding one another. This language of love reminds us what God said or what He did. And we have to say, what did He say? Well, He said, love your neighbor as yourself. He said, do unto others as they do unto you. He said, give and it shall be given. Lay up your treasures in heaven. Take up your cross and follow me. He said, obedience is better than sacrifice. Only believe and all things are possible. Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. Ask what you will and I will give it you. Watch and pray. Lift up your head. Keep your eyes on the eastern skies. This is the prophetic language of love. Reminds us of what He said. It recalls the promises that He made to you. Actually, prophecy only confirms what God's already been dealing with somebody about. Amen. Yes. This is what we have to learn. That's what prophetic language is. That's what the prophetic word is. It brings us to remembrance of what God has already said. And sometimes that's not what we want to hear. We want to hear something that He hasn't said already. But the true prophetic word will simply encourage and bring back to mind what God already said. And it'll be like, yes, okay, I got hold of it now. I understand it now. It reminds us of who we are and gives the promise of what we're going to be. We have the roadmap. We just have to learn how to use it. This is the roadmap. We just have to learn to read it right, to understand it through this language of love. And when we read it in the language of love, that language of love will descend upon us, because it's the tailor-made garment for each of us to wear. You have it measured front and back, sideways and around in every direction, so that this garment of love, which has the language of love with it, will fit you perfectly. And I tell you right now, you can't wear mine. It only fits me. And I can't wear yours because it only fits you. We're each uniquely designed to have this garment tailor-made for us. And it fits us. And it will make us feel good about ourselves. Do you ever notice sometimes when you get all gussied up, I don't know how else you put on go through your closet and find the most beautiful dress or the best suit you got and the best shoes and matching everything. And you get that all on you, how it makes you feel good. Just, well, most of the time when I go to my closet, I get it out and put it on and think, I look pretty good for an old man. It'll do for me. But there is a garment that's tailor-made perfect